McBride here with your Property Masters and 5 minutes of free time, your daily dose of real estate training. Today we asked the question, what is probate? We are not attorneys, so if you have specific questions about probate or require legal advice, hire an attorney. We all sort of know what probate is, but I wanted to do a little research and figure out exactly what it is, because it's always very confusing to me, and I'm sure it is, as I'm sure it is to you. Dictionary.com defines probate as, it's as simple as this: the official proving of a will as authentic or valid in a probate court. That's the noun. And then as a verb, it's kind of the same, is to establish the authenticity or validity of a will. It sounds pretty simple, but we've always found it to be quite a lengthy process. It has its origin in Middle English law, in England, of course, as much of our law does. And anyone who has had to deal with this unfortunate situation knows that probate can be complicated and lengthy. So, how does this apply to real estate? Well, when someone dies with a will, they die what's called testate. The court will simply validate the will and instruct the executor, the guy charged with carrying out the wishes of the deceased, to do with their property as they wish. Of course, he has to make certain notices and wait to see if anyone could test the will and that type of stuff. And the more money involved, the more likelihood of that happening. But usually, the executor of the estate just carries out the wishes of the will. This will typically involve conveying property to a relative or a group of relatives. And that's done with a quit claim deed, and that's quit, Q-U-I-T, it's not quick, quit claim deed, which will just basically which will move the property from one person to another. But quite often it's a parent who dies and the last parent, and the estate with all the property passes down to their children. Now, that's where it can get a little dicey. Because if more than one person is involved and has equal ownership, in a highly charged emotional situation where money, and typically a fairly substantial sum of money, when it's an estate, is involved, things can get a little crazy. Got someone who wants to live in it, and you got another person who wants to sell it because they need the money. Others want to hang on to it because it's the family property and rent it. It can be all over the place. I mean, there's any multitude of things that many people will want to do. All of this is going on while trying to divvy out personal property, cherished heirlooms, and all kinds of other things of value that hopefully you're not fighting over, but that they could be fighting over as well. There can also be disagreements on just about everything. So, back to probate. It's worse when someone dies without a will. If they die without a will, that is called intestate. So testate with a will, intestate without a will. This type of death is sudden and unexpected. Probate will take much longer in this case because the court will have to determine who will be responsible for being the executor, first of all, of the estate, and who is entitled to all the deceased's personal and real property. Ultimately, in the end, everything will work out. It always does. Hopefully, all of the deceased will still be talking to each other and friendly once probate, all the property's gone through probate. As I'm sure the deceased would want, and the property is distributed equally, hopefully. We have extensive experience in estates and working through probate. We know the ins and outs of it, unfortunately, but that makes us your professional, and you need a professional during these volatile times. You need a third party who's disconnected that can pretty much tell you this is how it is, and we are straight shooters like that. Call us or text us today at 386-866-1007 if you do find yourself in this unfortunate situation, or if that situation is imminent, get in front of it. We will work directly with you to remove the stress of selling your family property and even hold an estate sale if that's what you want us to do for you. We are your property masters. Call us at 386-866-1007.